What's up, everybody? Sam Sim, chilling. Um, yo, man. Um, I was sitting here just thinking about, you know, like that old saying about how motherfuckers talk, do all of the talking and shit, and just never do anything. But this day and age, you know, there's also the model, like, man, what you doing? Let me see it. And so it's like, if you're not setting any examples, you're not doing shit. But one thing I do have to say about like a lot of black men out there who are considered educated lames, the one thing I can say is a vast majority of them, a lot of them, in fact, without knowing, they have almost like became distinguished. They were forced to be distinguished. A lot of them, they were forced to set the example, pretty much. And I was actually one of those same guys as well, um, who was just so smart and knew what I wanted for a long time before I started getting out to really, really fucking around like this. You know what I'm saying? But when I was when I was, one of those guys who just knew all types of different shit. Just knew, just all types of weird things out the encyclopedia, different things about science and social sciences and studies and shit like that. You know, just this big knowledge freak, right? Answer all of these Jeopardy questions, right? So, being that type of guy, to some women, it's attractive. Um, like initially, like right during the first time you meet, and she realizes that you're a smart guy, it's attractive. But most women, it's not like that. It's you don't let them know that type of shit. Especially like if you are real quirky and real nerdy, um, do not do that. It's all about being cool and stress free, and for the most part, being a nerd, a knowledge freak, or even trying to play it cool and doing the shit like you just that's just too much you're giving away. You want to kind of like let a woman explore a little more. That right there, like you hear a lot of women say, well, shoot, you get my mind, then you automatically get my panties wet. Yes, that's true, but stimulating her mind in a fun way is what that means. It's like um, you want to get to know her a little more before you get into deep, deep thought. But you want to skim the surface when you first meet her, let her know, like, okay, well, yes, I do have a sense of intelligence, and you don't want to give her the educated shit. You want to kind of have it in a scenario like I don't know, maybe you guys are sitting around watching Jeopardy one day. I mean, this happened to me, so you're sitting down watching Jeopardy. You sitting down. You got your old lady chilling on the couch. You sitting at your desk. You know what I'm saying, doing some shit. Guys just skimming and you're like, hold on, put it right there real quick. You guys watching Jeopardy, and this is not a pre-record, and I never saw this episode before, but like I'm answering the questions alone, like they're asking questions. I don't know, some simple shit. Well, this person was the 17th president of the United States. Who was Ulysses S. Grant? Who was Grant? Ding ding ding. Well, I don't know. It was just some trivial shit, and I was like, oh man, that's easy. That's boom, boom, And so like, wow, you know that? You want to intrigue them like that. You don't want to just come off as some old fucking geek. But This is about setting examples. This particular video, and I'll just place that particular statement that I just made as an example of a part of my dating game. Fuck it. But let's get deep down into it. um, what I mean by setting examples is, you know, when I first really started listening to a lot of these guys on YouTube, and you know, a lot of them were talking about the same shit that I'm actually doing. But when I listen to them, you know, like I listen to a lot of the videos, and a couple of the dudes, one guy in particular, man. I mean, this dude is incredible, man. Love the brother, man. Great material. But he said that him and a couple of his relatives were thinking about buying houses in the neighborhood, and he was like, "Yeah, let's do it. You know, I could, you know, put some time to the side, and you know, we can get in there and get on the ground and start pulling shit and putting things together. Yeah, man." And I was just sitting there smiling, like, man, that's great, man, that's great. I believe, I'm not sure. I believe he stays in Jersey, if I'm not mistaken. This guy, but man, it was incredible. I was like, yeah, because like a lot of his material was basically talking about black economics, group economics, and shit like that. And without knowing, I practice it every day. Been practicing it for years. Um, you know, I was trained this shit from various men in my family because you know they were trained, and great grandfather trained them, and going on and on. So um, I realized growing up as I got older how different my family was in comparison to a lot of my friends' families, and I used a lot of my attributes to help out a lot of the brothers, and I still do now with a lot of the younger brothers. And you know, a lot of the guys who came up with me, it took them a while to realize that yeah, you know, wow, you know, you were showing me this shit all along. And, I mean, a lot of them they respect it now. And some of them it's too late. It's already too late. But um, before one friend died, and we were both 21 when he died at that time, he was like, "Yeah, Sam, you know, like he said this in front of his mom. He's like, yeah, man, you know, he's not like all the other ones out there." And you know, I wasn't like, you know, we would actually sit down, we would talk about some deep shit. This is back in my my Hotep days, where we would study, you know, like the symbol, the Inca symbol, and Horus, and you know, all of that. We sit around and smoke blunts and listen to a lot of Pac movies, or watch a lot of Pac movies and listen to a lot of Pac music and shit. And you know, that was my closest partner, man, at the time, and he was murdered. So, but you know, I set the example um, before he passed, and I did it with a lot of guys, man. Just for one, just showing them, hey, man, you got to find another outlet, man, because for one, it keeps you younger in spirit, and that's the religion, man. Just keeping your sanity, period. Just making sure that the bullshit doesn't come your way. Avoid it at all costs. You know, um, just have an idea that it may come, and prevent yourself from being around it or being involved in it. You know, and you know, when I started doing that, I mean, I've always been known to do it because I always knew, especially being a black man, So with the younger kids, I show them as well, like different techniques as far as artwork is concerned. Because the thing is with kids, and I'm talking like these kids are between the ages of 5 and 11, and the reason why, these elementary kids, I get them at the young age, and I start showing them how to draw and shit like that, and how to color better. It opens up their brains, and while they're sitting there coloring or while they're sitting there working on their artwork, you'd be surprised what they think about. You'd be surprised, what a lot of people think about it. It's a relief uh, tactic, and a lot of grown folks, like they'll tell you, a lot of artists, they'll tell you, when they're doing it, yeah, a lot of things, the thought process is better. And then it makes them more competitive. It makes them able to think wider outside of the box. So, you know, it could be, I guess, lucrative when you get older, but I would recommend it for the kids as far as their thought process. So I do that, and then I also, teach about African American history, because I feel that it should be taught at a young age so that they can have time to learn about the present and what needs to happen. I think it's critical. I don't think, African American history should be taught at an older age. It shouldn't be taught at a high school level or at a college level. I think it should be taught at a elementary, middle school level. So, I set the example for that. And in business ownership, third, I set examples with that as well. I acquired property, and I have some property in Louisiana in a couple of parts. I'll have another video where I get deeper into gentrification. I talk more about gentrification, and I talk about owning small business. I plan on opening up a couple of reptile shops, and also I was working with a group of people on an auto shop as well, more like a body repair, or more like a refurbishing and a detailed auto shop, because then this is a venture actually with a few people. It's about 5 of us thinking about doing it, and it's a good deal because I'm fond of American muscle cars, and I have another buddy who has a small garage now, and he buys a lot of cars, and he's into like imported cars. He has a lot of 2-door cars in his backyard, and he has the tools to pull the engines out, and he buys the stuff for cheap, and he showed me ways to get a garage set up. So, man, that was something else I was thinking about, because I told him too, because that's where a lot of the homies hang out at. Just a close set of friends, just a small circle. So, everybody chills out over there, and he has the basketball court in the backyard. It's almost like Fast and the Furious. Like, he has his house, and in the backyard he has like the shed and the garage back there, and the garage has like 3 cars, and he has the hoods up. He has a couple of them, up so he can get under them, and he has a couple motors out of them. Has the hinges to pull the motor out, and, like he was just working on it. Has all the tools he needs, and shit like that. And I always tell them like, yeah, man, I will take and get a heater so when it gets cold up in here, you can, do this. And, man, you ought to just, put a TV up in here as well, like roll your TV out just so that way when you can sit down and watch your shows because he likes watching different car shows. You can be out here working on the car and be able to watch the show. So then he pulled out his TV, so he's in the backyard now with his TV watching his car shows, working on his cars, and he'll play his music back there. Hobbies, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he stays out of trouble. So, um, I say all of that to say, just setting examples, setting strong examples, because with this shop that I plan on doing, I mean, I already see it in effect done in other areas, just off of the friends that I've acquired over the years. I just noticed it. I was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that'll work, man. That'll work, man, And I was always into the animals to begin with, so I was like, oh, yeah, this will be fun. And then the area where I'm planning on putting these pet shops, it's a productive area. Things are going real swell. And, it's lucrative. Even where I am now, I have a buddy of mine, and him and his wife just runs their 3 shops. And it's very lucrative. So I put that there. Sorry for that, but yeah, very lucrative. So this brother's doing his thing. Proud of him. I'm proud of any black man trying to get their shit together, or any black man that is on the verge of getting their shit together. My old boss, when I worked at this call center, I saw him on on the avenue on the corner. He had like a little tent up with his business. I actually drew some logos for him, for some business cards for a computer company he wanted to do, and a business graphic design company, something like that he wanted to do. So I drew the logo for him, and he showed me the card, gave me the business card for it. But he had something else where he was doing for the children going to school. He's supplying them with school supplies and doing different programs like that. He and his wife. So when I saw the tent, I stopped. I was like, oh, right, that's what's up, man. Because I always told him, and we talk about that a lot, about group economics. And he's from Flint, Michigan. And he told me, he's like, you know what, we're going to get it together. Things are happening. Things are happening slowly but surely. We're definitely going to get it together, man. A lot of brothers do see it. So it's like, man, I hope so, man. I mean, I saw this all along. I can go back to my great-great-grandfather. Like, talk about how he rented property out to people back in the 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and the early 70s. And several apartment complexes and property that he hadn't put anything on. He was just buying lots all over the place and acres and shit. This is back in the 1920s he was doing this. He even bought a Marcus Garvey stock with a black star line, So I'm just setting examples, man. My grandfather was the type of guy who didn't believe in the white banks. So when we had to condemn the house, we found nothing but blue notes. I'm setting examples here. So, I mean, I like a lot of these guys, man. I respect a lot of these YouTubers that's out. 'Cause, like, they're the ones, man. You know, and I even call them out by name, like they doing their thing, man, like big time, and it inspired me to just say, you know what, let me just go on here and just speak because, um, like I'm living the actual examples of a lot of this shit. And like when I went to these places, I just went for confirmation. Like when I went to these different channels, I'm just reading these topics, and I'm like, shit, should I do this? You know, like should I really just get on here and just do this? Because I mean, I could definitely do it, but like I would just want to do it because when I was listening to all of this stuff, it just felt like one guy, man, excellent brother, man, just on point. But when I hear him speak, it just felt like a lot of his material just felt like he felt like he was just talking to a brick wall. It seemed like every black person around him, like he'd go to the barber shop or he'd go to a group of guys he saw hanging out at a party or at a bar or something, and they get into it. Like all the white folks, he just had this argument with them, and with all the black folks, it's like he couldn't get them, he couldn't reach them. And I'm sitting in here, and I'm just like, man, like yeah, you on point. Like everything you are saying, it is true. That is the key. What you're saying is the key. Because once this happens, everything else will fall in place. With family and everything else around it, it'll fall in place. Like you'll have to weed out a few, but for the most part, it will fall in place. And when he talks, he just talks with a lot of frustration. So it felt like he wasn't getting through. And then, man, a couple of guys is like that. So I wanted to do it to let them know that what, you guys are right, and I support it. And I wanted to say that, shoot, you're not talking to a brick wall. 'Cause when I went there, I went to you guys for confirmation. I was like, man. What really got me is that I went to YouTube looking for just like how black man fits in with corporate America, which I knew he doesn't. I know he doesn't from the jump, but I just wanted to just get the confirmation. Like, man, I know somebody else out there. I know they got some information on this shit. So when I looked into it, and I saw it was, and I just started clicking post, and then I ran into a lot of these guys, man, that spitting some real shit. Spitting some real shit. So I got get them boys shout out, in a few, man. Let them know, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, they got it on point, man. Because I've been living this shit the whole time, and I got one dude on here. I listen to him a lot. Great guy, awesome guy, man. And he's on the verge, he's on the verge of being big. He got some plans going on for the black community in his circle, and with his career and all of that. So I was like, yeah, man, that's awesome. That's awesome. I support that shit. That is great. So, I'm try to figure out how I can get in my own lane and do my own thing, and we'll roll like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and check this oven real quick. I smell it cooking, and you guys be cool. I'm out.